What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday to you. Welcome into the Green Bay Packers Report. My name is Joey Petersen. On today's show, we're going to answer this question. A question we've asked before, but a question I think needs to be looked at again after this week's news. Could Dontayvion Wicks find himself on the trade block? Now, what's changed, Joey? Well, Christian Watson returned to practice from that ACL tear back in January. He was at practice. This is from Monday when he first returned without a leg sleeve. The question you got to ask after you ask that first question is, could him being back make this happen? Could that be the final thing that makes Green Bay, Brian Gutekunst, feel like, you know what? I feel like we're good in this wide receiver room. Maybe we can go out and get something for Dontayvion Wicks. We got to answer that question coming up on today's show. Appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel like we've been doing all week long, like we'll continue to do all season long. Just a little update on our season-long sub battle. We are finally on top of Bears now. Congrats to all of us. Bad news is we got a lot more left of the season, so I want to run that up as much as we can to make this lead as big as we can make it. We're up 8 subs now. By the end of the day, I want to be up 30. I need you guys' help to do so. So Dontayvion Wicks is the topic of discussion today. And Dontayvion Wicks has had a really, really good season so far. Now, he started off those first 2 weeks a little bit hotter than he finished his last two, but still, 10 catches, 114 yards. Easy to do that math. 11.4 yards a catch, has yet to find the end zone. I think the biggest thing about Dontayvion Wicks right now that's impressing me is his ability to catch the football. Because over the last couple of seasons, he really did not show an ability to be able to catch the football, right? He struggled with drops mightily last year. So you can look at it from the lens of, well, Dontayvion Wicks is kind of playing his best football. We all know that everybody knows how good of a route runner he is. Everybody knows how fast he is. Everybody knows how athletic he is. But the biggest question marks were always, could he consistently catch it? And he's doing that this year. He's doing that this season. And so, in my opinion, his stock seems to be the highest it's ever been right now. Could that mean he's on the trade block? Could that mean they want to take advantage of that? Well, maybe. And right now, when you look and think about this Packers wide receiver room, you got to look at two things. Number one, the amount of talent that they have. And the second thing I think that is most telling is where those talent pieces sit with their deals. Christian Watson, just extended in September. Romeo Doubs, we got a report last week that talks have started about an extension. Dontayvion Wicks, that contract ends after this season. Same with Jayden Reed. Savion Williams, Matthew Golden, those guys are rookies. We got a lot of time to talk about those two guys. And a lot of the wide receiver trade rumors we talked about during the summer, they had to lean or they had to be about Romeo Doubs. They didn't have to be. They were about Romeo Doubs. Because I always leaned towards Romeo Doubs when I felt like who was going to be the wide receiver that is most likely to be traded out of this group of a lot of talent. And I felt like it was going to be Doubs just because of the complications that this team has had with him in the locker room from time to time. Obviously served that suspension last season from the team. He's had a couple of concussions. Got to worry about that head trauma as well, those head injuries. Just a lot of things go into it. But, of course, we got to remember Jeremy Fowler reported this last week. The sides have had cursory talks, keeping in contact about the future. Doubs staying in Green Bay beyond 2025 is at least a possibility. But getting a bargain deal for an emerging receiver without a 1,000-yard season, think Buffalo's 4-year, $53 million pact with Khalil Shakir, is getting increasingly harder. Doubs is building a case as the number one free agent option. Mike Evans, Jacoby Myers, and Juwan Jennings are in the class but aren't entering their second contract like Doubs, who is 25. Youth always pays. Now, trust me, I know a lot of you guys are going to be upset that this is even a discussion topic. I really, really like Dontayvion Wicks. Like I said earlier, he has blown me away with the fact that he's kind of just totally gotten rid of his drop problem. Knock on wood. But you got to look at it from the sense that there are more teams in the National Football League than just the Green Bay Packers. When you have a trade, it takes two to tango. It takes one team to offer it. I'm not saying Green Bay is going to put him on the trade block. I'm just saying some teams might come calling for him because there are a ton of wide receiver needy teams across the National Football League. Ones who will be buyers at the deadline too because they believe they can still compete for a Super Bowl, compete for a playoff spot, and have a chance to actually do something this season. They just might be one piece away, and that piece might be a wide receiver. So coming up, where might Wicks end up? I'm going to give you 3 teams. We're going to discuss all of them on today's show. But before that, I want to know what the odds are. What's the percent chance that you think Dontayvion Wicks is traded? Scale it for me 1 to 100 in the comment section down below. 100, you're saying like guaranteed. 1, you're saying like 0 chance at all. Okay, you let me know down below. The Kansas City Chiefs are my number 1 wide receiver needy team, or at least the first team we're going to talk about in today's show. Now, they get a lot better in that wide receiver room once Rashee Rice comes back from that suspension. 6 weeks because of the hit and run on the highways in Dallas, Texas. Xavier Worthy, he's a great wide receiver too, but we know he's got that labrum issue. He's never going to be 100% this entire season. Marquise Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton, those are all the other weapons. And, of course, you got to add in there as well a 49,000-year-old Travis Kelce. The Chiefs' current record, they're sitting at 2-3, ladies and gentlemen. It has not been a hot start for Kansas City. Now, their passing offense, it's still top 10, 241.0 yards per game. But in my opinion, that stat right there is 100% because of who they have at quarterback, not because who they have at wide receiver. I still got a feeling that this is a good defense. Is it as good as it has been in years past? No, not by a long shot. It's still good enough, though. What happens if they get close to the deadline? Maybe they drop one more over the next couple of weeks. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they look at each other and say, dude, we got to do something. We have to go get a wide receiver. Wicks could be that guy. Drop a name for me. I gave you 1. I'm about to give you 2 more. Name a team that might trade for Dontayvion Wicks down below in that comment section. Okay? Gave you the Chiefs. Give me 1 that's different. I got something that's different for you guys. This deal. It's different, man. It's built different. If you go to chatsports.com/gbpolo, you can take advantage of it yourself. It was $55. Now it's $33. Got the classic Packers logo on it. Got the beautiful green. You might need something new to wear to church, wear to work, wear to the bars, wear to golf. All of that, it can be done in this. Very versatile. Well, I guess it depends where you work, and I guess it depends if, where you go to church. Regardless, it looks great. It feels great. You can wear it to a game, and it's only $33, $22 off. Chatsports.com/gbpolo. I'll put that link in the comment section. I also put that link in the description of today's video to make it super easy for you. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the second team we're talking about today. And in my opinion, I feel like the Steelers might be the most likely of these 3 options. Right now, their wide receiver room is not that great. DK, he's a beast, right? We all love DK. Calvin Austin III, he's been good this year, but he's hurt. Roman Wilson, not that great of a wide receiver 3. Now, they do have Jonnu Smith. But still, that's not striking much fear into opponents, is it? The Steelers' current record right now is 3-1. Maybe a little bit fraudulent, but we all know they win their games by their defense. And their passing yards per game shows that. Currently at 183.5 pass yards a game, which is 27th best in the National Football League, also known as bottom 6. Regardless, though, if they keep stacking wins, especially with with how the NFC North looks right now. Let's just say that. Or AFC North, excuse me. With Baltimore playing like they are, with Cincinnati, no Joe Burrow, they could run away with this division. They could be 3 weeks down the road. Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers looking at each other thinking, hey, we are 1 piece away on offense. Give me 1 more wide receiver, and we can win this thing. And I don't think that's that wrong to think that. Pittsburgh's a good team, man. They got a good defense. And they're playing at a conference that they are in the lead of right now and in the lead of in a big, big way. Like the second best team right now might be the Cleveland Browns. That's all I got to say. I get it. They beat us. I don't care. Wide receiver needy teams. The Washington Commanders are on this list, in my opinion. Look, Washington is a good football team. They got a hell of a quarterback. But their wide receivers are not that great. I mean, their third best wide receiver is Noah Brown. He's injured right now. So Luke McCaffrey's been stepping up pretty decently. Terry McLaurin, he's injured right now as well. Deebo Samuel, he's good. He's had a good year, but he's not a route runner. And when I look at Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Noah Brown, I see 3 guys who have been in this league for a very, very long time. And then I look at their quarterback. who is very, very young. And I think maybe that Dan Quinn would like to pair Jayden Daniels up with a wide receiver who is also pretty young, who's got 6, 7, 8 really good years left ahead of him. Terry McLaurin's going to be a really good receiver for the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 3 to 4. But I don't see him being that much past that. Wide receivers in their mid-30s rarely are. Commanders have still been able to win. They're at 3-2, 192.6 pass yards a game. Now, a lot of that is because Jayden Daniels has been playing in the last 2 games they've played. Still, I think that they could get a couple wins under their belt in the next couple of weeks, and they could say, you know what, we went to the NFC Championship game last year. I feel like that next thing we need to take us that next step, bring us to a Super Bowl, is a really talented wide receiver. All in all, I don't imagine anything's going to happen from now until a little bit closer to the trade deadline, which is in about 4 weeks from this past Tuesday. So maybe look at something to monitor over the next couple of weeks. And I'm not saying I want something to happen, but I am saying it takes 2 to tango, right? Just because he gets traded doesn't mean they put him on the trade block. It means a wide receiver needy team may have come knocking and said, hey, we're going to give you something you might not even think for Dontayvion Wicks. And if that's the case, depending on what that offer is, I would not be that mad if they accepted it. So, be monitoring the situation. Before I get you out of here, let's catch you up with what Week 6 looks like in the NFC North. A couple of tough games for the divisional teams. Detroit will be on the road in Arrowhead playing on Sunday Night Football, a place that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid rarely have lost in the last half decade. Chicago's going to be on the road in Washington. That's going to be Monday Night Football. A couple of primetime spots for the NFC North. And then the Minnesota Vikings, they're going to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to be at home, but still, Philly coming off their first loss of the season. Feels like that's going to be a get-right spot for them. All 3 of those teams can realistically lose. They're playing 3 really good football teams. Now, if they win those games, I don't think I'd be too surprised, but still, playing a lot of really good teams. This could be the time to make up some headway in the NFC North race. And speaking of that, we updated you on it earlier this week. I believe it was Monday. Here are the odds. Detroit and Green Bay, they are head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. Vegas seems to think this is a 2-team race. The Detroit Lions at plus 105, Green Bay close behind with plus 120. You got to go down a bit deeper to find Minnesota and Chicago at plus 1,100, plus 1,800. I still like this value. I still like that value. I get it. There's things to clean up. I think Green Bay is still a hell of a football team. That's going to do it for today. We got to get out of here, okay? I hope you enjoy your weekend. Have a ton of fun. Reminder, we'll be back with a video tomorrow. Sunday, we'll have a video early in the morning. And then we will be here live on the channel for that football game. Hope to see you there. The only way we can guarantee it is if you subscribe and turn on those notifications.